Hello everybody, welcome to the Celeb Scope channel. Kimora Simmons put her ex-husband Russell Simmons on blast, and also she was exposed for having a whole relationship with Birdman, Toni Braxton's husband. Now I want to talk about the model and fashion entrepreneur and reality star Kimora Simmons. Now recently she did an interview on this podcast, Not Skinny, but Not Fat. And she said that her children do not have a relationship with their fathers. And one of her baby daddies, Russell Simmons, spoke out against Kimora after this interview went viral.
So how many kids do you have living in your house currently living?
Five. Well, 6. No, 7.
And you're doing this all on your own, like the fathers of the children are not
so
involved?
Weird because I think I used to be a little different. They're not involved. I'm alone. Not really even around. And they're welcome to be around, just to clarify for the record. They're welcome to be around on their, at their will and leisure. My kids are all big enough and old enough to have their own relationships and do their own things. So it's not about me at all. It's just...
What a loss for them.
I feel like that too.
Yeah.
They don't know. I don't know what they know. Maybe they're intimidated. Or maybe they're like, oh, she's got it. Or they're like, I don't want to get in her way. Or maybe they're like, I don't like her. I don't know. I think a lot goes through their head, though, about the other parent and less about the child. As a mother, you cannot imagine.
You cannot imagine.
Now, it is sad that none of her children's fathers are in their child's life. Like, she has children with 3 different guys, and it seems like she doesn't have the best relationship with any of them. Now, I do know she has one son named Kenzo with the actor Jamin Hansu, and they actually had issues over custody. He wanted to move the child to Africa, but Kimora stopped it because he wouldn't sign a contract promising to return their son. So, they had issues with that. Also, Kimora does not have a good relationship with her second husband, Tim Lehner. They have a son together named Wolf, but he currently is locked up for money laundering and bribery charges due to this whole business scheme that he was involved in. So, because he's behind bars, he is not in her son's life. Also, Kimora doesn't have a good relationship with her first ex-husband, Russell Simmons. Russell is the father to her 2 daughters, Ayoki Lee and Ming Lee. And at first things were cool between them because he was financially providing for her children. But he did get into some money trouble and he had to flee the country because he was getting hit with sexual assault allegations and lawsuits. And also he had a nasty fallout with Kimora over money because he accused her of fraud and stealing his shares from the Celsius drink company to bail out her husband Tim and pay for his legal fees. Kimora denied the claims he made against her, but he still sued her and to this day he cannot stand Kimora. So Kimora has a pretty messy history with her exes, and I do believe it has affected their ability to co-parent, which is why the fathers aren't there for the children. Not saying that this is an excuse for them to be deadbeats, because it's not. There is no excuse, but if you look at the context of the situations, you kind of see what went wrong. Now Russell blames Kimora for his distant relationship with his daughters, and he said this. I gave Russell Simmons calls out Kimora, and Kimora puts him on blast. You $50,000 a month for 20 years. I was your best friend and only friend. I'm the godfather to your 3 other kids until one day you stole my stock. I have been fighting for my kids' love and my bread ever since. You threatened that if I sued you, I would never speak to my kids again. There are 2 sides to every story. Now, here's my issue with this. Now, Russell and Kimora's children are grown. He could have his own relationship with his daughters without having to go through Kimora, but his daughters don't want to fool with him because of his own erratic behavior and his verbal abuse towards their mother. I mean, no child wants to hear their father call their mother a B-word. And he's not present in their lives because he fled to a whole another country. And Kimora clocked him and said, my girls are grown. You know these are lies. Why are you typing from thousands of miles away in a non-extradition country? Go negotiate and answer your accusers. Funkflex exposes Kimora's long affair with Birdman messy. Now, Hot 97 did report on the story and DJ Funkflex dropped some tea. He claims that Kimora had been messing with the baby, and a lot of people thought he was talking about the rapper The Baby. No, he was talking about Birdman aka Baby aka Toni Braxton's husband.
Miss Kimora Simmons.
Russell's own wife, right?
Back to the fab lane, but back to the fab lane.
The baby was beating that. Go ahead. Finish the story. Finish the story.
Say word.
Finish the story.
Now, this is some interesting tea because Birdman did have a relationship with Kimora. He actually dedicated a post to her years back saying, "Shout out Kimora, love of my life. Thank you for everything you did and do for me, rich girl, rich gang." Now, according to the internet, it said that Kimora and Birdman had been messing around for 10 years between 2004 and 2014. And if this math is correct, this does kind of overlap her relationships with Russell, Jamon, and also Tim. So, I guess she allegedly had Birdman on the back burner all those years while she was in those relationships, allegedly. And also, it did Kimora cause Toni Braxton and Birdman to briefly separate? Was alleged that she was still messing with Birdman while he was with Toni Braxton. Now, if you remember, Toni and Birdman got engaged in 2018, and they officially got married in 2024, but they separated 2 days after their wedding, and 2 weeks later, Toni filed for a divorce. Now, according to Tissa Tales, shout out to Tissa, she alleged that Toni quickly separated from Birdman because she found out that he was dealing with Kimora on the side. Now, this is all alleged, but this is what the source told Tissa. Allegedly, the reason Toni Braxton fouled was because of his alleged side piece, Kimora Simmons, whose sources are saying he has been blindly funding for a while now. Sources are alleging that on the day of the wedding, Birdman arrived late and then had the audacity to tell Toni he had to leave and take care of something, and then he flew out to help Kimora, basically leaving her at the altar to be with his mistress. This is alleged, but if it's true, it's definitely messy. But even after Toni filed for a divorce, she did end up reconciling with Birdman early this year. So, she is still married to him, and I believe she stayed because the money was too good for her to walk away. And the truth of the matter is a lot of women stay in relationships if they're being taken care of. And Toni, being older and having lupus, would rather be taken care of instead of continuing to carry on the burden of helping her family all the time because she has done it for so many years and she wants to be taken care of for once. So, I think this is why she stayed. And I don't necessarily agree with her staying, but it's her choice. She's very comfortable where she's at, and she has a long history with Birdman, so I don't think she's going to walk away anytime soon.
The two tied the knot and seemingly split just 48 hours later last year. The pair apparently agreed to call off the divorce in January.
We've been friends forever, for 25 years.
Yes.
Before I had my kids, we were just buddies, like nothing like romance from friendship.
And by the way, you all do a great job of kind of keeping it out.
Well, we didn't want people to know.
Why not?
Because of what happened. Yeah.
But if people know, then they don't make up those stories.
But if they don't know, it's nothing to talk about. You get to live your life a little, freer. I am the happiest I've been in a long time.
She happy. I ain't got money because I'm going to make sure that.
I introduced Toni to her husband. Then he started speaking to me about my sister. I was like, my sister Mary, please go sit down somewhere. And so when Toni got a divorce, he was serious about her and, made his way in.
We've been like besties for a long time.
People always say that. But
No, this is real. Like, no cross the line.
Besties, like you always kept in touch and you always talked?
We would keep in touch. He would come see me when I had my plays. When I had my baby shower, he would come. Like, we were really friends. He's a gentleman. He's such a gentleman.
Is he?
What?
I could see that.
Opening doors, and he's just a gentleman. People don't know, 2016, November, when I was on tour, October, I was really sick. I don't mean kind of sick. I mean like really,
from
really
lupus?
sick. I had a really bad flare, and I was on tour. And every day I was on tour, he was there with me. And on my off days, he would go and take care of his business, but he would follow me on the bus and just make sure I was okay. And I don't know if you've ever been really, really sick in your life and you feel kind of hopeless and you got somebody who's a friend that's there. That's kind of, it just made me see him differently.
When you hear Toni talk about Birdman, you see why she fell for him. But I just hope those rumors about him and Kimora aren't true. And if they are, I hope he cut ties with her for good and is staying faithful to Toni. Because clearly Toni was the one he always wanted, but he couldn't have her because she was married for so many years. But now that he has her, he needs to be faithful to her. But anyway, tell what you all think about this video down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you care. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.